Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show.
What did you do?
I'm going to give you the background
Okay.
knowledge on that. So there are certain things you can do in the back end of this where you can stick it on a loop. So the little captain's pod
Yeah, it
thing
just goes-
that it
Yeah.
goes into a loop. But it's on the same menu where the 30-second countdown is. So I keep forgetting to turn the 30-second countdown on, but then unloop it so that it doesn't come. But anyway, hi everybody. Hi.
Yes, we are in the
Surprises.
same room. We are in the same room.
I can't.
Oh,
wait.
wait. We're touching.
There we go.
You can't tell that we're get. Are you trying to? Okay,
I was trying
there's
to,
your hand. There's your hand.
I'm gonna knock something out of stomach. Woo.
I maybe pulled a little too hard.
Yeah,
Are you
popped
okay?
a thingy out of joint.
Oh,
that was
no.
rough. Hello, everybody.
So this is the first time we've been live on the CinemaSins channel since we hit our affiliate,
Yes!
and we let our Sin Club members know, and then we let our Discord members know. But this is the first time we've been live and able to actually say thank you to those of you who are subbing already. I don't even know if I can go back and see. I think I can. So I'm going to do just like a quick shout out because obviously we want to take a second to thank those of you guys who have subbed already.
Absolutely.
And just because the first 10 spots are probably gone doesn't mean that you can't sub. You can use your Prime sub if you guys want to. But yeah, it's the first time we've been able to actually take support on the Twitch channel, and we're really excited about that.
It's really cool.
We've got work to do. We've got to figure out emotes and stuff like that. So I know there's a lot of you guys who are really good with Twitch, and if you have some ideas, please reach out. Maybe email is the best. Send us an email, captainspod@cinemasins.com, and we can kind of coordinate on maybe ideas. But obviously this channel is for not just Captain's Pod. We also do Recotopia, which will be tomorrow. So if you want to save your sub for the show tomorrow, you can do that. And we do gaming here on this channel as well, although not as consistent as podcasting yet. But it's an exciting day for us because we kind of get to kick off our whole affiliate thing today.
Yeah, it's super fun.
And we're in the same room.
We're right here. We're right here. And thank you, Zinkstote, for being the first live sub. I think we'll give that as a little award.
Let's see, it was Jeremiah P31, Belonius Maximus, 8417, The Tweeter, JCD, Chris Batkinson, Slab3K, all subbed, I think, before we even started the show. Katrar, Zinkstote, and Moko Made all coming in just like a second ago. So thank you guys.
Love it. Absolutely love it, guys. And hey, Josh Zero as well. Hello.
Slab pointing out you forgot to take down this Enterprise, the Studio DNA sign over there.
Dang it.
You've got time. You can do it.
Would you like a bare wall or would you
we should just
would you like Sif Pop?
You know what?
What?
The wall is the same color as your Derpa prize.
My dirt? No, it's not.
It is. That's the same color as your Derpa prize. You should just take a Sharpie and draw the Derpa prize. Aaron won't care.
That is Cardassian fascist grey is what that is.
What are you doing
What
right
I'm going to
now?
do. This is accidentally perfect. 1 second.
Okay. I'll just do 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 do. I don't know what that says.
Section 31.
Section
Can
31.
you read that?
Oh, there's a Star Trek symbol down below. Okay. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Come on.
Do you need some pins or something?
No, you're not going to pin my hoodie.
Okie dokie.
Close enough.
One of the suggestions was to make the center prize and the CinemaSins M. The Sins team emojis would be good too. I agree.
Yes.
I think we could do like our little personality people, but we could only have so many like little emoji things. And so maybe we should try to do the bus where it's the whole Sins team.
Oh, that would be fun.
I just don't know if it'll work because it's so tiny, but we can try it.
That's a
I'll
really
write
good
that
idea.
down.
I love that.
Keep sharing your ideas. I'll write them down.
Section 31 is perfect. This is the now Section 31 podcast. That is the sneaky people in Starfleet that do all like the undercover stuff.
But we could do this enterprise too if we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the M.
Oh, definitely. We have to have
And then
this
something
enterprise
for
for sure.
Recotopia. I guess we could just maybe, I don't know, maybe if there's something that they do all the time on that show, we should try to make something of it. I actually made someone's emote once. They told a story on their stream about a girl that they knew one time who had, like, he was not wanting to give her true name, but I guess her true name was some body part. I don't know. But he was calling her Toe the entire time he was telling the story because he didn't want to say her real name, but he just kept calling her Toe. And then the story also had to do with pineapples. So I went and I found an emote of a toe and I put a pineapple on it. And it's like his most popular emote.
Oh, that's
for his
amazing.
channel. So we
That's
can do
gross.
stupid stuff
It's
like that.
very
too.
gross.
We're not doing that.
No, but nothing toe based on this channel just yet. No, I don't think we'll be making a Sin City emote for Ricketopia unless you want both Chris and Jeremy to leave Ricketopia. I don't. Nope, Slab. Nope. I do love this though. Dare do. Started watching Below Decks just so I can listen to you guys. That's amazing. But the most important thing is that they love it. So it's terrible when we make you watch a show that you don't love. It's like, well, I have to watch it now if I want to keep up with the pod.
We will talk about this when the show proper starts. But yes, it's a really fun show. Just a quick thing behind the scenes. So Ian, usually we're in a different room together. I'm recording separate then, but we're good. Like you've got a recording started for like what we're doing for podcasts, right?
Wait, you're not recording?
Well, no.
This is going to be
here.
a really... I can do this
I'm
one
on this
person.
side.
That's fine.
Should I yell loud enough that it picks up on your microphone?
I think you've done that anyway.
Yeah, I did
But
that.
no, this fancy board that gives me crickets will stop. It's like I have a delay button there that just keeps cutting me off. Nice.
I just reached over and did it.
Amazing.
Meep. Sorry.
It is also recording your track at the same time. I was more worried that the Twitch audience couldn't hear you. That I didn't know that was going to be a thing until we were live, and I just had to keep an eye on the chat. And I was like, they can hear her. That's good.
They could?
That's fine. They can. Yeah.
The board or us?
No, you.
Oh.
You specifically. I wasn't too sure if they
Why
could
did
hear
you
you.
tell me?
Because it all worked out fine. I was
my
too busy
gosh.
screwing up the timer again and giving us a
Yeah, you did
40-second
that. You did
countdown
that.
instead. Just incredible.
An emoji of Ian's beard. Okay, that's another suggestion.
What would that even
Ian's
look
beard.
like?
The Bearder Prize, maybe?
Does it
I
just
don't know.
walk along on its own?
I like a zinc stoat. Nope, no feet stuff. This is not that kind of a channel.
No. It is, to be fair.
Well,
it is.
It's whatever it is.
It can be. It's going to be now. Oh my goodness. And in the same
Centerprise
breath,
Delta. Okay.
consummate professionals. That's us.
Centerprise Delta.
I do want like a little like the badges, like the circular badges that you sew onto jackets that has like the Centerprise on it. And what we need is like a Latin saying that goes with it.
What
Just
would
like-
our saying be?
Oh, it would just like fuck it up us.
I ding because I care.
Yes. To
What
sin,
is I?
to sin is
sin
to
is
live.
to say you care. To
Yeah.
sin is to live.
To
To sin is to. I like it.
Oh.
I think to sin is to live. That's a
sinliness
good-
is next to godliness. Or to sin is to live. I like that.
Doesn't I think is
In Cineus
in sin-
Exodus. Tempus Sinus?
do we need to find someone who knows how to
Yeah,
speak
we
Latin?
need to find someone who can speak Latin first, or else I'm just going to put us on the end of all of it. Yeah.
Dare Do says
amazing.
something about not being able to listen to an episode yet.
I know. Well, can't listen to this episode specifically because they're just getting through season 2.
Oh, I see.
So continue.
Yeah, would
to
there
binge.
be anything that would be spoilery? Maybe a
Are
little
you
bit.
fucking kidding me?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you bleeping yourself on
I
purpose?
did. I don't. It's just, you know what's really strange is that if we were streaming at like 8 p.m, I would
Yeah.
be swearing like a sailor. But because it's the early afternoon, I'm bleeping myself, which is very strange.
That's like people who like get in vicinity of a church and just decide to change their mind.
Oh no, that makes me swear more. But that's like the burning feeling that I get when I walk near a church.
That's the spirit working within you.
Yes, or trying to get out of me, or I don't know. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't plan on being uncursing. You know what it is for me is like I'm in the Dicer's house and they
I think
don't-
that's what it is.
I'm not. I know they don't curse. Like earlier, I dropped. I think I said shit earlier, and I felt a little
That
bit
checks out.
self-conscious about that.
That's
and I'm
okay.
like, why? Oh, because I'm not in my own house.
Yeah. Well, I said
yeah.
I said screw yesterday, and then apologized for saying screw, and they all looked at me. It's like, why did you apologize for that? I was like, I don't know what counts as a curse word anymore. I don't know. You told me off for saying damn yesterday.
In front of Iris.
She's old enough.
She's 5. Give her a minute.
That's fine.
I mean, I'm gonna fuck her up all on my own. You know?
That's true.
Let it come from me.
Through osmosis.
Yeah. Why does it sound dirty when Ian says jacket?
Jacket.
Sounds too much like,
no.
oh, God. Okay, well, we'll just skip over that comment.
Jacket.
Sorry about that. I didn't know what I was clicking on when I clicked on that. I apologize.
I'm saying jacket, not... Never mind.
Something center. Self-censoring, very English.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
So we're gonna do our normal podcast here in just a moment, and we're gonna chat about the newest episode of Lower Decks. And while we record the podcast, just a reminder, we can see the chat, but we usually don't really respond to the chat, so that way we can actually have that clean cut recording for the podcast. And I just want to say that before we get started, we're kind of excited, just a little bit more behind the scenes since you guys are here and enjoying the show live with us. A new video went up on the main channel, and it was another Star Trek episode.
Yes, it was. It is. Yes.
Yeah. And so the cool thing about those is that when we made those videos for you guys to enjoy on the CinemaSins channel on YouTube, we put a little promo of this show onto those episodes. And then we just kind of have to wait for them to actually come up on the schedule. So we've known that this one was going to come out for a while, just like the last time.
Yep.
But what it means is we have like brand new listeners to Captain's Pod and brand new people that might be coming over and finding you guys in the community. So if you are new to Captain's Pod, which is basically Ian's passion project for Star Trek mixed with Sin. And I'm along for the ride as like the rediscovering Star Trek nerd. Is that how we're gonna say that?
Yeah, you're being reintroduced to the universe gently.
I don't know where to stop that either.
What do you mean? Like the reintroduction? Never.
Well, like
800 episodes. That's the goal.
You know, last week I found that post on Etsy, and there was those Star Trek boots, and I think,
oh my goodness,
and I'm like, I think Ian has to see these, and I don't know where that line is. Like, do you want me to just bombard you with
all
Star
of
Trek
it?
stuff?
Why everybody,
Okay.
everyone?
No,
tweet
I don't want.
Yeah, no, do it.
No.
Finish me, ruin me with Star Trek stuff. I want to be tweeted all of the Star Trek merch that I won't be able to buy.
You're gonna have to mute your phone.
Oh, is
That's
my
gonna drive
phone
me
binging?
crazy.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
That's
Apologies, everybody. Consummate professional.
Our work has begun.
Oh,
obviously.
we can actually blame Aaron for that. Aaron ruins everything.
Zinc Stoat says, when I saw the show promo, I thought you guys might be sending the whole movie. Alas, no. For this show today?
Oh, for this show? Oh, no. We sinned...
5?
Yeah, no, 6. We
6.
Wait. Yeah, we sinned The Undiscovered Country, and we did a podcast on that. So if you want to have a search for that, if you search for Undiscovered Country in the podcast feed, Jeremy, the lovely narrator, gave that the Enterprise treatment with myself and Danae.
So you wrote on the main channel podcast, or the main channel, script with Jonathan
for Star Trek 5.
Star Trek 5.
Yes.
You guys should do a podcast and drop it in the feed.
Definitely. Yeah. Now that it's all fresh again, definitely.
Yeah.
That'll be really, really fun. Because that has so many sins. It's such a bad... It's my least favorite part of Star Trek, and I know people like it. I know, and that's fine. That's great. But it's a bad movie. It's not good. It's really not good.
And JCD is putting a question in the chat. You guys can ask any questions during the actual podcast recording part. We usually see those, and then we can kind of pin them. And when we finish the official recording part, where we can't chat with you guys directly as much, or really we just try not to at all. It's just it's purely for the editing. It makes Ian's life a lot easier.
It's fine. It's fine.
We'll come back at the end and we'll get to hang out and answer your questions. If you have comments about the show that you want us to bring up, you can actually type in comment or something. Just let us know. We'll pin all those. We can kind of come back and hang out.
Absolutely.
And then, so we'll have some fun here today. And don't forget, tomorrow is Recotopia.
Heck yes. Any questions about the Sins video as well? We'll see if we can have some time at the end to answer any specific questions. But that's going to be on this week's BTS as well.
But just a little bit.
Yeah, but just a little bit.
Because
just a little bit.
Behind the Sins podcast is, that's like a little brief conversation about all the content that CinemaSins puts out over the course of a week, which is a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like if you and Jonathan sat down to just talk about this movie together and the sitting process, it would be really fun.
Oh, we'll definitely do that. Yeah,
Okay,
we'll
good.
squeeze that in.
All right,
Love
well,
it.
I'm going to message Jonathan and we'll get on the books for later today.
No. Danae is such a troll because she knows how busy I am today. I almost cancelled this recording. No, not a chance.
Not a
chance. Not when there are fascist Cardassians that need gamma quadrating. Gammering? Gammed? Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because that gives me a little bit of a clue of how to introduce the episode.
So, sneak preview.
No, let's just do it.
Not going to tell them?
Let's just do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Thank you everyone for subscribing. Please continue to do so. We love you. Let's get into the show.
It would be a 3-hour podcast.
It will
You're
be.
absolutely
It
right.
will. That's confirmed. It will be. Okay.
I'm going to make a little scroller for us.
Huh?
I'm going to make a scroller
What's
for
a
us.
scroller? What's a scroller? I love the suspense. This is amazing.
This is part of the fun of doing an action.
This is so great. I don't know
See,
if I'm
look.
supposed to start or not. You got a scroller?
See, look.
That's amazing.
Do you like it?
I mean, I'm just happy that I'm looping intros at the minute. I couldn't do anything fancier.
Do you guys find that helpful? I could add more information in there
Yeah,
too.
put some rude words in there.
Okay.
Nope.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
All
blah,
right.
blah.
All right. I'll just hold on.
Okay, oh no. Vote for your,
I mean, are we gonna get banned?
I don't know, for what? We will pin your comments and questions and get to them in a moment. Whoa, Nelly.
Is that bad?
Fork, shirt, and fork.
Should we? Okay. You know what? I'll just bleep it. I'll just do the little asterisk so that if anybody's very uncomfortable.
If you could
How
get a
about
live weather forecast, that would be great.
Okay. Okay.
Requested by Slab.
Gosh.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Look there.
Any
You wanted
questions? Get to
cusses? I
them
just added cusses.
morning. For star cut, star, first star, nice. No notes. Welcome to 10 Forward, the part of the show where we grab a drink from the replicator and share our immediate thoughts and feelings on the episode we just watched together. Most important question first, Ambassador, what would you like from the Quark 2000?
Whatever that was.
It's a replicator. We've added bits on it.
No, I mean whatever that drink was. It was like tiered layers of color.
Oh, it could have been like a Sumerian sun. Is it Sumerian sunset or?
I mean, you're asking me, and of course, I know all the answers to Star Trek.
No, we watched
things.
this episode though. It's a
Sumerian Good Samaritan
not
Sunrise.
Danae. Damn it. Deanna asked for it
That's
from
me.
Data.
Good Samaritan Sunrise.
It wasn't. It's made in the traditional dang it. Anyway, it's a colourful drink. And I would like a gold pressed latinum tooth. Not to drink. No. Just to have.
But that's not
Carry
the
it around in my
question. The
pocket.
question is, what are you going to drink?
Okay, well, to drink, I will have the tears of a recently phasered friend.
That's perfect. That sounds more like what I would say.
It's
and what I have done is what you. It
Yeah.
is Sumerian. I just looked it up.
Sumerian?
Or Sumerian.
Sumerian?
Sunset.
Sumerian sunset?
The Sumerian Sunset was a beverage which initially appeared clear, but when the rim of the glass was tapped sharply, a swirl of orange and gold luminescence, blah, 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 blah.
Nice. I think that's what I would like. Wait, no, that was your drink. So, this week, Ambassador, can you give us a plot synopsis?
Okay, you dropped this on me at the last second.
You
and-
volunteered!
and
You said, I've got this, Captain.
Yeah, I super got it. All right, so in this episode, we have so much happening. There's
No notes.
people breaking into ships. There's people not breaking into ships. There's gambling happening. There's friendships being formed. There's a people, the Kardashians,
No.
who, what are they?
Cardassians,
The Kardashians.
but they're not in this episode.
Oh, okay. There's this war. It was dominating, and the bad stuff happened with that. And now we're trying to be friendly, and we're bringing some alcohol. And for some reason, the burrito has to bring the alcohol when another ship can't, because it's got to go to a brown hole, which we all know is just a reference to a butthole, and it's supposed to be funny, and it really wasn't that funny to me.
No.
But we're not talking about the show. This is the synopsis part. Fuck. So then they all get together on Deep Space Nine, and the people. Not the Cardassians, but the other ones that are different.
Another gamma quadrant species that I can't remember the name of.
Okay. Then why are they talking about the Cardassians at all?
Because they built Deep Space Nine.
So?
and we're all part of the Dominion War and stuff. They're the big bads.
But
Deep
anyway,
Space
so
Nine.
these people show up. They got a bomb, and shenanigans happen where the negotiations for peace don't negotiate peacefully. But thanks to plot conveniences, everything turns out just fine. And also, we got to face our friends.
Welcome to Danae Describes an Episode Perfectly. That's great. That's great.
Thank you, Captain.
Yeah, I'm not even going to rehash that.
Captain.
We're just going to go straight into it. What did you love about this episode?
I loved her
Now that we
shooting
know
people.
exactly, yeah. My goodness. Like, Danae was like kind of quiet through most of the episode while I was freaking out and loving all of it. Until we got to, like, the second Mariner starts firing, she's just giggling in the corner. And I'm like, you absolute sadist. Like, this is why we struggle to make friends, because you're just like, I'm going to phaser him. Yay!
Okay, so I had a couple of notes that were like, you don't know what you're missing until you've seen Ian watch an episode of Star Trek, because he giggles like a little child. So it's like spaceships on screen, space ports on screen, cool, like really interesting, like, I don't know, flights of ships on screen, different references on screen, and he's giddy and giggling, and I'm just quiet, I'm just watching or whatever. But when Mariner gets permission from her girlfriend to just be a total bitch and turn up her sass to level 10, I was so happy. I was like giddy. Genuinely and truly giddy.
It's like, I think
I was sitting there giggling like it was the best. It was absolutely the best part. Hold on, there was a quote. What did she say? That she was living out her dreams.
Oh,
what
manifesting her dreams or something. Actualizing her
dreams. I was dead.
I was like kind of coin flip. I was like, maybe Danae isn't going to enjoy this, and she's just losing her shit and giggling as all of these people are getting phasered, because I think Mariner is actualizing your dreams. Like, I think you've been many times in a room filled of people that you're like, I could destroy them, but I don't like that person that I become when I destroy them. So I'm going to just sit in the corner and drink my tea. And really, you just want to phase them all.
I think she got on the table and she's like, everyone shut the fuck up. And I was like, yes!
Shoot the ceiling with a phaser.
Claim your power. Just say what's on your mind. And if they can't deal with it, then that's all right. I mean, there are times when we don't say these things, and I know that's true. But Mariner, I remember watching that very first episode of season 1, and I wasn't sure if I liked Mariner. But then by the end of that first episode, I was super into her, and she was so delightful.
She's great. I've watched the show for 3 years now, and I didn't realize how Danae Mariner is. Like, until watching it with you, it's really, really fun to find your character. She
has some qualities that I definitely possess, and I'm at this part in my life right now where I'm really embracing, like, I kind of don't want to give a shit about whether people like me or not. I just kind of want to be me, and if people don't like me,
not make that the
okay.
focus of what it doesn't mean you're actively trying to piss people off, but that's not your front and center. You're putting you first.
There are times when someone needs to jump on a table and get everyone's attention in a shocking manner, and when everyone's panicking because they're losing their oxygen, that's a really good time to let that out.
For real, yeah.
Now, if they're all like just playing Monopoly or something, there might have been a better way.
You shoot the Monopoly board first.
Exactly. There are steps.
Oh, you still want to play? Now you're getting phasered.
What about you? What was your favorite? I think I know your favorite part.
And this is the problem. The episode didn't get better than this for me. That cold open is, I think, the best cold open I've ever seen to an episode. It just suckered me in, and it's not fair. So, I mean, because it's not just like the glory shot of, well, we have a mission and we've been redirected, so let's go to Deep Space Nine. Like, we all knew they were going to Deep Space Nine at some point, or like the nerds.
Did we?
The nerds did. Like, it was in the
yeah.
trailer and stuff.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's fine. If you were making notes, that's fine. But it just, and then just the music started. It's a bum 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 bum, and then do 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 ba 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 bum bum ba ba bum 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 ba 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 bum bum ba ba bum bum ba 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 bum. It's an incredibly underrated theme tune. It's so great, and then the animated HD-ness of Deep Space Nine is so great.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and then Shax's just like slamming it immediately, just calling it because. So, I'll explain the Dominions and the Cardassians in a minute. It's fine, but right now. Hey, what are we going to do? Let's just circle the pylons and look impressive while we're stalling to come aboard, and then they repeat the joke, and it's so funny. It's like, well, we've done our lap. What should we do? Keep going. Okay. It's such a slam on like just the opening credits, just being like, what are they doing? Just doing all of these glory shots of Deep Space Nine, and. Because, like, usually the opening's, like, really kinetic and you have the ship zooming about. You can't do that on a stationary space station. So, like, what do we do? Okay, glory shots.
Yeah,
it's such a great cold
It's just
open.
docking
So
porn.
good.
Either that
It
or
is.
it's just moving.
Docking porn is something
Oh,
very
God,
different.
it really
oh
is
my
very different.
goodness.
Just a...
Please do not Google
Okay,
docking
hold on
porn.
a second. Hold on a second. Can we do, like, a really quick note for editing?
Yep.
Okay, here's my note for editing for you. Can we insert some sort of like warning that cuts in right then in the show and goes like just something that's like an announcement? Maybe even ask Jeremy if he'll just record like Citizens does not endorse Googling talking porn.
No, it does endorse docking porn, but it doesn't endorse Googling docking porn. There we go.
Like, wouldn't that be so
Yep,
funny if it
that's
just like
amazing.
cut away?
Yep.
I bet he would do it if we asked him.
No context either. I need you to say these words, Jeremy. Please send them to me now.
Or just like just a straight thing like as mentioned. I just don't Google that.
Yeah, do not Google this. Amazing. Right, Jesus, where was I going?
We're talking about docking porn.
Okay. Wait, no. Nope. Wait. No. Because, man, there is, like, the Defiant, people in the chat will know what the Defiant looks like. The Defiant has this nose on, like, the front of it. And if you imagine this is the Deep Space Nine docking port, and this is the Defiant's nose today, I'm doing little fingers. It does that. It, like, just goes and docks right inside of it. So the Defiant is very much docking with Deep Space Nine.
Well, I mean, that's what they do in spaceports, right?
Yeah, but this, like, usually the ship doesn't go inside. Like, the nose of the Defiant goes inside the dock. Usually they just butt up against each other. But anyway.
I feel like we need to take a break for just a moment. And everybody needs to just take
a breather.
Well, just, like,
Yeah.
everyone just, take a moment for yourself. And we'll
play some elevator music for a second.
We'll just be right back.
What is it? And that's basically what happened with the Dominion War.
I didn't think you could do it in 30 seconds. I didn't believe you. I was like, there's no way he's going to explain the Dominion War.
Nailed it.
In such a short amount of time, but that was great.
I know you've got it. And now, just to check your knowledge, what were the main points that we covered?
Okay, well, there's two sides to every story, and it takes somebody with really good skill to have a conversation about it and figure out, all right, is it worth continuing to destroy each other?
Yep.
But I really thought it was interesting what the Deep Space Nine played a part in all of it, though. That was interesting. Yeah.
Everything you said was 100% accurate, and I think that shows you'd be a great politician.
Thank you.
Amazing. Right, super duper duper quick. The Dominion War. Well, you got the card. Just kicked my laptop off the table.
Don't do
nearly.
that.
Was
Don't do
amazing. The Dominion War has got like the Cardassians who are.
We just talked about this. I don't need to know it.
Oh, you don't actually want to know? Okay.
No, we just
good.
talked about it.
Oh yeah, no, we did. We totally did.
You can tell me if you want
Thank
to.
you. So the Dominion War was between like the basically like the Bajorans, who was like Kira, who was the
Okay.
one in red,
Oh,
who was
we
looking
got to talk about that.
in command of Deep Space Nine. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Kira.
I think I remember her.
So she is in Deep Space Nine. She's one of the main characters, voiced by Nanar Visitor.
Is she the one that's married to Tuvok?
Odo.
Odo.
Yes. They don't get married, but they're in a relationship.
Odo. Mm-hmm.
Odo.
No, that's not who I was thinking of. Because I remembered her face a little bit, but I never watched Deep Space Nine, so.
Oh, okay. No, then you wouldn't. I mean, you know Odo, the security chief.
I
though,
do
the
know Odo.
shapeshifter.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, the Federation basically steps in and says, "Hey, Cardassians, you can't suppress the Bajorans anymore. You must leave." And they decide to leave. That combined with the Bajorans kind of kicking some butt and stuff, but. The Deep Space Nine was built by the Cardassians as a mining thing, but the Bajorans reclaimed it and with Starfleet decided to like kind of keep it. And then a wormhole suddenly opened and it brought all of this tourism and all of this money and stuff to Bajor. But then it also brought an evil race called the Dominion, who was like a conglomeration of the founders, the Jem'Hadar, and another race that I can't remember right now.
Those guys.
And they came in and started like invading and shit, teamed up with the Cardassians, and then the Klingons joined in as well and became enemies of the Federation. And then
no, the Klingons joined the Dominion?
Yaha.
fuck?
I know, right?
Oh, how was Worf feeling?
Because a shapeshifter pretended to be Gowron and redirected all of the Klingons to do bad stuff. But then eventually there was a big war. The Romulans joined in, and it's fake.
But which side? Like you said that they joined
No, the
in.
Romulans joined us.
Oh.
The Romulans joined our side.
Okay, all right.
So, but
So
then
you gotta-
eventually the Klingons rejoined us once they figured out the bad Gowron was bad, and then it all ended. And then Cisco jumped into the wormhole, and we haven't seen him since.
All right, cool. Who's Cisco?
Captain Cisco, Benjamin Cisco, played by Avery Brooks. He was the captain of Deep Space Nine, basically. Commander, then captain. Anyway, that's a potted history of Deep Space Nine. So, Lower Decks.
You know, there's these moments where, as a friend to somebody who's very passionate,
Yes.
you just take the time to listen,
Yes.
but not actually listen.
That's fine.
And that's just what I've done.
I know that deep down you have it in your brain now.
Somewhere.
And you will appreciate
Right.
this episode so much more.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so that tells me, but does it help this episode at all? No, and that's good because we shouldn't have to watch Deep Space Nine to enjoy this show.
No, that's one of my sins because you kind of have to have watched Deep Space Nine to
But
enjoy
not
this
really.
episode. No?
I enjoyed it.
But that was one of my big questions, actually. Did you actually enjoy it going in going in dry? Going in without any other knowledge of Deep Space Nine? I'm sorry. Docking has ruined me.
Okay, well, do we need to take another little break? To answer your question, no, I don't think I needed to have seen anything on Deep Space Nine. Here's what was interesting. When the Kieran person appeared, it did like the extra long second shot on that character where I was
the
like,
reflection of the wormhole in the window.
yes.
Oh, it was so pretty.
But because I was distracted by like, why are we seeing so much screen time of this person? I didn't notice the wormhole. I was like, oh, this must be someone important. Like this must be a cameo. And I can hear the echoes of 1,000 fans being like, oh my God,
it's Kieran Reese, yes.
So clearly I'm going to miss some things, but I knew who Quark was,
Yes,
obviously.
which is Quark kind of transcends all of Deep
Yeah.
Space Nine and Star Trek. He's managed to appear everywhere. Like one of his franchises is in Picard.
Oh, that's fun. Wait, did
It's
we
really
know
cool.
that?
When they go to Stardust City, and they do like the external shot, there's a big Quark's bar. And
I missed
lost
that.
it.
That is amazing. I totally missed that. No, see, Quark I knew, and it's interesting to see Quark animated, and I did have a little bit of that moment. So I didn't know the theme music to Deep Space Nine, but I knew that. But I knew that you were really excited about it because you were screaming. You were happily screaming from across the
so
room.
great. And I'm just like, we've been begging for a HD remaster of Deep Space Nine. It probably won't ever happen. This animated version of Deep Space Nine is the closest we're going to get to a HD version of it. And it's so pretty.
It was really pretty. Yeah. And
So
that's the thing
good.
is, so there's things about it that are really pretty that I can appreciate. And I can even appreciate that there's characters I don't know because center screen are still the characters that I'm here to watch, which is, our
Yeah.
haphazard crew doing what they're doing. And there's enough happening on the burrito that was interesting for me this episode. The stuff with Boing Boing wasn't really super interesting to me, except for that I know that it played onto what is the name of their race? The Quark.
The Ferengi?
The Ferengi.
Yeah.
Like that they're really greedy. And so that was kind of fun to see them play into the Ferengi, like just their greed
and stuff.
Yeah. And so to see that kind of play out and that he was being really lucky. I didn't expect him to be lucky. I was expecting him to just
I have issues with that. That's in my sinning. There's a big bit on the Dabo
he's
table.
just done really well and he's not actually cheating. It just was going well for him as he was gambling. And then to turn it all in at the end for like this gift card to the store, and then it comes out in like full Ferengi gear.
So great. And he would have left the Latinum behind anyway because like Starfleet don't need it. They don't need money.
The other thing though that I did find myself like genuinely enjoying was to see Quark animated because there's something that they can't do in the live action, which is move his eyebrows. Right, because it's just like this. It's like this headpiece that sits still.
Yeah.
So when he's animated, all of a sudden he's like arching his brow and stuff.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Fascinated by it because there's expressions that we never got from our Quark. Like our Quark, it was just this big old headpiece, foam latex thing that they did, and maybe it moved a little bit. But for the actor to really express through eyebrows, it has to be such a specific application for those prosthetics. And I learned this by watching Face Off, which is one of my favorite reality TV shows. Yeah. And so for the people underneath there to be able to like really animate and move their eyebrows around, but that entire forehead piece is like one huge piece. Yeah. So to see Quark be extra animated was kind of delightful.
That's so interesting. I need to rewatch it now. I didn't even think of that.
Because like Quark for me was always pretty deadpan.
Oh, always. Yeah, this is the most animated we've ever seen.
But that's what I mean. Like, so it was a little jarring in a way because I'm watching him like really express. Is that
what Ferengis do?
And he was ducking behind the bar when the race shows up that's coming for like peace talks or whatever they're coming for. The race we can't remember because we didn't.
I think I think they're called the Karami.
Okay, that sounds right.
Yeah.
So when the Karami show up, they end up pulling the curtain back, and Quark has essentially stolen their technology to create this replicator drink that he's saying that he created. And so that's sort of like the big ha of the show kind of towards the end for Quark. But like he's jumping behind the bar and like acting cowardly. And I was obsessed with watching his eyebrows. I don't know anything he said because I was obsessed with watching his expression. Is that weird?
No, that's not weird. I was the opposite. I think I was so locked in to being excited that we were hearing Armin Shimmerman talk again, who's the actor that plays Quark. I was so locked onto his voice that I didn't look at his face, so I didn't notice like the extra animation at all. That's so interesting. I'm gonna have to rewatch that now and have a look. It
was really great to hear the voice, though, like you mentioned, and to think like that voice actor went into the sound booth and put in the prosthetics into his mouth. You can hear it.
You can hear it through the teeth.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So great. Mike McMahon made somebody said a question, did Armin wear the full Ferengi getup? And Mike McMahon is like, well, we didn't ask him to. He just turned up in it. Which is
and
great.
Why wouldn't you?
He would. He absolutely would.
Every year for Halloween you're tempted.
Absolutely.
But
it's so great.
This is it was really fun to see all of that come back. And I really don't think I needed to see it to understand what the show, I think this episode was doing, was kind of putting the captain in a position of diplomacy that she was a bit uncomfortable with. But then also putting Tendi. I think this was Tendi's episode.
It really was. This episode like accelerated through so many. Like you have 4 stories plus squeezing in Deep Space Nine love as well. Like this might be the most ambitious episode that I've ever watched of Lower Decks, because it could have traded on the glory shots of Deep Space Nine and a ton of cameos, but it was super restrained with the cameos. It gave Tendi a really meaningful story. Mariner and Boimler less so, but good. Fine. Yeah, it doesn't need to be on every angle. No. And then a good little like classic Quark story of him like us wanting to think the best of him and him fucking up and then getting paid for it, like getting his comeuppance at the end. Like that is a classic DS9 story.
What was his line at the end? Because Captain was like, you did come out on top because you're not in prison. Like, would you prefer to be broke over in prison? He's like, no. It was great. And also they developed a tiny little sprinkling of the security officer with Kira.
Oh,
because they had this sort of back and forth battle of who saved who the most.
And it's so funny because whenever two Bajorans meet up, they invariably have a history of fighting in the resistance. And they do that. Like, oh, do you remember that time when we did this? And that competitive, instead of a competitive, this is my body count, it's, well, I say, no, you saved me. No, you saved me more than once. It's such a lower decks thing to do. And
yeah, it was really fun. So they did a lot. And if there was something that I thought a couple of times is it was almost a little bit too fast paced because we just were zipping around from thing to thing. But that's sort of the style of the show anyway. Like you jump in, a quick hit of a joke, you jump back out. I still had a great time. I'm going to check my notes to see if there's anything else. No,
please do. I love Tendy's storyline. I really, really did. I love that she's always bucking against the stereotype of Orions, and they specifically mentioned the female Orions as well, because this is one of the worst things about the original series was the lack of nuance when it came to how women were presented. I don't think the original series did a good job by women for the most part, and the Orions are like a big part of that because they were the stereotypical green aliens with large breast tissue and dancing around, and their pheromones would seduce men, and the male Orions would use this seductiveness to trap people. And that was pretty
like
one note.
Sirens
that was
or
it.
something?
Yeah, like Sirens, exactly the same. And even the J.J. Abrams, like the first Star Trek movie, Kirk is sleeping with an Orion, and that's kind of the butt of the joke. So I love that Tendi is like, hey, some of us aren't even born with those pheromones. Like they're a thing, but we don't all have them. And not every
just the
Orion is a
popular girls
pirate.
have the big boobs, okay?
Right. But I love that so much. And I love that line of everything I learned about Orions I read in books, not the good ones, the one with the boobs on the cover. And it's so great. It's such a nod to, hey, Orions are way deeper than what the original series and even Enterprise showed us. Like Enterprise really leaned into the Orion slave trade stuff, and just made them super duper one note. So I love that. I think that ticks all my boxes.
I liked about Tendy's story in this episode was that they gave little hints when she was talking to the male Orion, and she was like kind of basically ducking the conversations about her parents.
Yeah.
And
Shady
I thought,
history.
oh, okay, are they going to like answer this question later in the series? But once again, one of my favorite parts of the show is that they get to the solution pretty quick.
Yeah.
So by the end of the episode, it's clear that her parents were pirates, and she was just not wanting to like capitalize on that.
Yeah.
And once they got like trapped in the ship, I thought, I wonder what's going to happen here, because they always turn something a little bit unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So the male who's been, he's got the special Orion tool that can hack into a ship. Like, I wondered what they were going to do. So to turn him into someone who doesn't know what he's doing, and then allow Tendi to like turn into a superhero.
Berserker Tendi is my favorite. Like she just goes ham at the people, and then the last guy just jumps over the edge.
He killed himself.
Like, I'm not doing this.
He's like, I'd just rather die than deal with an Orion pirate coming at my face wearing a Starfleet uniform.
It's incredible. I know. I love that so much. Just her kicking butt. Like Tendi is for me the most complex character in the entire series. Like she has this thing inside her that she's always trying to suppress. Like I think she has more rage than Mariner does.
And it's just
keeping it under wraps because she has to. Like she can't let that side of Tendi out, or she's kicked out of Starfleet. Yeah.
But she did.
She did. She ripped a tooth out of a man's head. Yes.
And then someone in the background was like, "That tool has a tooth
remover?"
So great. It was really cool to see, and I like that we get to see these different kinds of parts of them. Robot Boy still kind of annoys me because he just seems to be
vapid, just happy all the time.
Yeah, he's just kind of an extra. I guess we learned, that he has a past where he was maybe more filled with rage and maybe even more of the kind of personality to risk things and be more pirate-like.
Yeah.
Like Robot Boy before his personality was like
Yeah,
one
he would
was
have
cut
absolutely
out.
been a pirate. Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been like a pirate. So he kind of went on the pendulum and swung the other way, and he's kind of nice and
Okie dokie.
yeah. So there's that. But Tendi, I haven't really been that interested in. She's just been kind of like, I'm super excited to be here. But obviously accelerating everything is another clue that I've been given. So for her to have suddenly these abilities, I wonder what it would be like for me to go back and watch season 1 fully, season 2 fully. Because again, I skipped over
I would love to do that.
entirety of season 2. And wonder, okay, sure, she's holding back pretty hard here, but if she has the skills to do these kinds of things, why is she holding back in all of these previous episodes? So I'm kind of curious if it's like how the other audience, so maybe, you know, you guys who have been watching all the seasons, does it feel like this is in line with her character, or does it kind of usurp that she's been holding back? I don't know.
It's like the I could be misremembering because I haven't rewatched season 1 and 2 ahead of season 3, so I'm like a year between each one. But for me, the best thing about season 3 is that they have given it to the side characters. Like they have really used it to develop Rutherford and Tendi and a little bit more Mariner, and give her like the softer side of having a girlfriend and really dealing with her demons and stuff. Completely sidelined Boimler. Like, we're not doing anything with Boimler at all for whatever reason.
This episode?
It just, this entire season feels like it's done nothing with Boimler other than make him bold, and that's it. Yeah. But season 1 and 2, like, I feel like Rutherford and Tendi took like a super backseat, and it was all about Boimler and Mariner. They were really front and center. So I don't know that you'd have, you might find it even stranger because you're like, wow, where did these guys come from? But it's one of my favorite things. It really, like, I love focusing, especially on Tendi. But yeah, we'll see where the rest of the season goes with it.
Well, that's good to know, because I feel like that just again confirms that the writers are really thinking about their intentionality with the characters.
Yeah, I think they're trying to give him more space, more screen time.
And without sounding like a broken record, I think we've learned just even from the interviews that we've been able to do on the podcast that there's so much intention at every step because of just a love for the product. So I'm glad to know that it's not like I can see them thinking about these kinds of decisions, like knowing what her background is and being careful with her in other scenes. Because it makes sense that she would be kind of more in the background in previous seasons.
Yeah.
So but I'm really liking this season because I don't need Boimler for this to sing for me. But maybe Boimler is like the fanboy. I think that's what
he's the conduit. He's always been the conduit of the most like stereotypical fan, and he's the one that's most excited to be on DS9, wants to play on the Dabo table, knows all of the tricks but is still tricked by them because I think he enjoys the process. And maybe that's why he's not getting as much to do, because he's a little bit too one note. Like if we focused on him, it would kind of like when I was seeing all of the pips on them and I'm like, it's 3 years later and they're all still ensigns. Is there a danger of this? Because it's kind of stuck. The general thing is these are really driven people, so they want to progress through Starfleet. So they should be lieutenants, lieutenant commander, moving on. Like, you can have your own ship within 9 years if that's the path that you're on. So what is wrong that they're still ensigns, but you can't promote them because then it's not lower decks anymore? So I wonder, like, I'm just happy for them to continue on and on and on forever. I just wonder if the stories get less believable the more it goes on. It's
entirely possible. Also, something that they mentioned in a recent episode, I think it was, you know, you're going to be doing this soon. You're going to be in Boimler. You're going to be dead soon. Remember?
Yeah.
So they're even in the way that they're writing the characters, acknowledging that this can't last forever. So I'm curious where they're going to, you know, take the story. So
super interesting. I love it. Right. Okay. So we do some sins.
Yes. Let's do some sins. Actually, I'll check my notes real quick. Do you have anything else that you wanted to? I did have one other thing here. I guess I'll mention while we're waiting. And that is, I really enjoyed the Ritos shirt.
Oh, read the Ritos.
Yeah, it was the Cerrito, but it was just a Rito. So and I want that shirt.
They sell it. They absolutely sell it. So this started.
I want one, Captain.
Order 5. So this started with.
Why do I need 5?
Because I want 4. So this started on Discovery. And when they were doing like a gym class or something, and they were doing laps of the ship, and they were just wearing a T-shirt that said disco. And so Mike McMahon saw the disco T-shirt and was like, "Well, let's do the Cerritos equivalent then," and did Ritos. It's so great. I love it. I want it.
I want one too.
Yes, please. My favorite gag, I think, was it was a dark and stormy, and then insert the star date here.
That was really good.
Because that's one of like our go-to sins is if like a story opens when it's dark and it's raining, it's the stereotypical moody story beginning. So the sin is just, it was a dark and stormy night. So I'm like, are they watching our videos? It's so fun. I think that's it from me.
Yeah, I think I covered all my notes basically just in our general chat. So
nice. Yeah. Well, with that, let's head to battle. Damn it.
Let's head to our battle stations, everybody. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hey, everyone, come along to the battle stations. Grab your buddy, link arms, link pinkies, give a little smooch on the cheek. Let's go to our battle stations. We're so cute. We're little Starfleet people.
This reminds me of the outtake that you sent me from Star Trek where they're all in the transporter room and Patrick Stewart is like, engage. No, that's not what we say in here. What do we say in this room? Energize. Thank you. Energize. That's what we say in this room. Like, what? His lines are just linked to whatever room he's in on the ship.
What was it? What anniversary was it? Was like the 35th or something?
35th anniversary of TNG.
Yeah, so it was the 35th anniversary, and I had seen 2 or 3 posts, and I was on Imager, and somebody had put together all those bloopers from the DVD that you mentioned.
So they've been around on the internet, but all of the bloopers and everything was released on the Blu-ray TNG that was released about 5 years ago, and it's just hilarious, and most of it is Brent Spiner goofing off in the background, just being a jerk to everyone.
So funny.
It's so great.
There was this moment when Riker leans, but he leans and falls over. It was fantastic.
It's so great. I think he'd forgotten a line, and he just pretends to faint.
Yeah,
like, how do I get out of this scene? I'm just going to faint. So great. Okay,
I'm ready.
This is the part of the show where we re-energize our sin brains, remind ourselves that no TV show is without sin, even our beloved Star Trek. I don't have a lot. I have my same old moan and gripe. So you first, ambassador. Okay, me first. So
I didn't understand how deep space. So in this show, the not Cardassians come in for their negotiations.
Yep.
And they get frustrated when they see Quark having stolen technology, and then they take their bomb off, which is like an energy bomb.
Yeah,
chuck it to
EMP
a panel,
device of some sort.
Yeah, and then when the little thing explodes, the panel shuts down Deep Space Nine. All the electricity turns off, but then it also shuts down for the burrito.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how that happens.
I mean, it's linked. Maybe they're doing a data transfer. I had the same sin, but I dismissed it because I was like, sure, fine.
Do you mean data transfer?
Nope.
Okay.
The data transfer. The data. But I thought, no, it's not. It's possible. But yeah, it bugged me. Like, it should... Deep Space Nine should not be that easy to shut down. Like, why didn't the Dominion do that? Like, this device is OP.
It's definitely a good for storytelling, and it's good for moving things along quickly. And this is one of those moments when you watch a show like this where you have to just not ask questions. But that was very sinful.
I had more questions on that device. Like, the bad guys do the stereotypical thing of, like, they all know that he has an EM pulse device, like, in his jacket. So there's no need for him to say, and if that doesn't work, we'll go to plan B, and then shows the bomb jacket. It's like, you've already discussed this plan ahead of time. Why are you rehashing it on board the ship?
I kind of wish that he would have just pulled it back and it would have just been like juicy boobs.
Oh my goodness.
You know, just to prove the point about boobs being overused before.
Yep.
Like, my plan is boobs!
Well, that's the cold open. It's the stereotypical bad guy thing, and I was like, you're going to give yourself away just to exposit the plan to an audience that you shouldn't know is there. It's so great.
Yeah, it was definitely for the audience. That's one sin I think I'd go for. What about you?
Yeah. Well, I had another one on the ball as well, is that Shax, when he sees the ball get thrown, Shax dives at Kira to save her, which makes me think the ball was aimed at her, and did they just get lucky that it actually hit the comm panel? Because it, like, What was he aiming for? Because he needs it to interface with the computer.
What would have happened if it would have hit Kira? It would have just
fallen off her head. Yeah.
It
was actually just meant to shut down all of her systems and kill her. Like,
apparently.
I don't know what the aiming was like on that.
Good catch.
And the point is, the show wants us to think that this is a bomb when actually it's an electronic device that does something else.
Well, to that point of, what was the plan here? What if there wasn't a gold tooth in that guy's face?
Oh my God. What was the backup plan? Like, oh man, it was
very important timing that there was a gold tooth that would stop the plasma shooting ray gun. Fuck, what is it?
Who?
Anyway, the gold tooth definitely had to have been
the plasma conduit
there.
thing. Yeah.
It was very convenient.
But yes. I think that was your... Yeah, what's your next one?
That was mine. The gold tooth was the next one.
Shoot. Dang it. So many candles in Jennifer's friend salon. We would immediately send that. So many candles. Why?
Yeah.
Why do these things always need candles?
That is a standard CinemaSin sin, is just candles.
Yeah.
What about Boimler having coins at the ready?
He knew he was going to Quarks.
So what about Boimler having coins at the ready?
Just replicate them. I know that kind of breaks the economy, but...
What about economy?
Yeah.
What is that?
So...
Does he just have a coin purse, in his locker for just such an occasion as this?
It's one of the things that breaks DS9 a little bit, because they tried... DS9 was all about showing that there is a universe outside of Starfleet. So, whereas Earth and Starfleet has decided money doesn't matter, they still have to interact with species that do think it matters, and the Ferengi are one of the most infamous ones. So their currency is gold-pressed latinum, and it is this thing that has no inherent value other than the value that we've put upon it. So it's kind of the worst bits of capitalism. So it's always been a thing of, well, where is Starfleet getting the money from if they don't value money? And how are they playing at the Dabo wheel? It's never really explained other than they get an allowance from someone somewhere.
I just wrote a sin on a script that isn't coming out yet, so I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it's an animated character that pays for clothing, but the animated character isn't wearing anything on their person to indicate that they would have a place to keep their money. And so my sin is just like, don't think about where the money comes from. Don't think about where the money... And that's like the same thing here. It's like, where is it coming from?
Yeah.
Why would this be...
Don't think about where it's shoved.
Maybe I'm thinking about it too much.
You might be thinking about it too much, but economy sins in general are great in Star Trek because, great, you don't believe in money. What about the people that do, that you have to interact with?
What about you? What's the next one for you?
So, for me, the next one was... And I kind of had to undo this sin, but for the first half of the episode... I'm kind of done with relationship drama, Mariner specifically. Like the trope of, I don't want to, there's this super successful relationship that I'm currently in and it's great, but this is this one thing that's holding me back and it's not wanting to meet the friends. And it did feel a little bit tropey, but then I love where it ended up in Jennifer being like, I don't care, I actually want you to kick their butts, and the way Mariner then goes to do it. But it does feel a little bit like Mariner fights against her own instincts and then eventually needs her own instincts. So what's the lesson we're learning here? Is she learning anything? Because at the minute everyone is telling her to just go back to her most like kind of instinctive impulses. And I don't know if there's a lot of nuance to what she's learning, but hey, maybe I'm asking for too much from a cartoon.
You know what? I'm asking too much about coins and you're asking too much about relationship. But
it goes hand in hand.
I understand what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Well, this is a simple one. Mariner, in that same moment, she fills her glass with a whole bunch of alcohol from the flask. It just seems like the flask had more alcohol than the glass could contain. And I would probably try to do some sort of like clever sin about there being a way to like measure the amount of liquid ounces that's in the container and then look at the dimensions of the glass and then make up some sort of like really complicated calculation. Where on the screen it's got that confused like woman meme with all like the like all the calculations. Yeah. And then just at the end be like, yeah, this probably wouldn't actually. There's amazing. Too much liquid in here.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. So. Yeah, I love that. That's perfect.
Do you have any other sins?
I am. You're right. My next big one. I know you're fine with it, but this is my last one actually as well because it was such a great episode. Was Boimler doesn't need to be here. Like the entire season, we aren't doing anything with Boimler, and maybe that's fine. Maybe that's the idea. Maybe that the point is that just because this is the man that's front and center, he doesn't have to be the main character, which I'm all aboard for. But the first 2 seasons kind of pitch him as the main character, and he's just so sidelined. And I don't have a particular love for him because he is very annoying and very by the book and a bit of a plot stomper. But we're just going to ignore him and just put him in a Dabo table.
Oh, so you want him to grow up and move on, but you don't want him to grow up and move on all at the
no,
same time.
I think I want.
This is what parenting feels like.
That's why I'm not doing it. I think I want him to grow up and move on. Is what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
He doesn't need to be. He's turning into Jerry from Rick and Morty.
Oh God,
he really is. It feels like he is becoming a bit simple. It's a bit harsh. But
yeah, because Jerry is one of the most annoying characters to ever be on an animated show of all time for me personally.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's that annoying. So
no,
yeah, you're right. Maybe I don't
soft.
quite agree with it, but to me, it's kind of fun too to let other characters like come into play. But in this one, what was interesting is that they kind of position him as like the girls of the salon wanted him. They're like, is he single? Blah, 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 which is why Mariner starts drinking.
And there is that shift, isn't there? Because Boimler's now gaining a reputation of being bold and getting more attractive. So I think it is building to something.
And he also is getting more attention from the leadership for doing bold things. It cuts back to him and his hair is like all up and kind of like
Riker.
It's very Riker, and his
happens a lot.
shirt was open.
Yeah.
And he's like all casual and stuff. So it's like, what are they doing with this character?
Basically, whenever Boimler is on form, he begins to look like Riker or a Ransom. Like his hair gets like that. I'm expecting him to turn up with a beard at the beginning of like season 4, just like a purple beard. Yes.
That would be so amazing because he does represent that super fan, and I don't think it's a coincidence that you are missing his presence because you are the super fan, and it's kind of like, you know, when we watch things, we look for someone just, I think, instinctively to relate to so that we kind of know our place in an environment. And so he's an easy target for you. Yeah. And they're taking him away
it's
from
strange.
Ian.
Kind of like you need an anchor, and Mariner's getting B-plotted as well a little bit, but we have so many plots in here. There's like ABC and D
Oh my
plot.
God, there's so many people. Just in this episode alone, there was like 5,000.
Yeah, 5,000 plots. Nice.
One of my next sins was in the scene where Mariner decides to stun everyone, and then she stuns all of the friends and lives out this sort of like fantasy of hers, this like psychopathic fantasy. And then she and her girlfriend Jennifer decide that it would be suspicious, I guess, if they were the only ones left standing in the room. So they kiss each other.
Yeah.
They do a 2 for stun.
Yeah.
Forgetting that people will still remember when they wake up that they're the ones that did it. So
also that she has a phaser in her hand.
Like the phaser kind of falls out when they're stunned
I
bit.
guess.
But even if someone was to walk in and see everyone stunned and be like, oh, here's the incident report, found a whole bunch of people passed out in this room. When they wake up, that incident report is being updated.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And if anybody walks in, if anything, that looks like an orgy and everyone's just having a nap afterwards.
Yeah.
We had
All
a
the
great
candles
time
everywhere.
without sleep. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, no, you're right. That incident report would absolutely give away. No, we got phasered a lot.
Like, just admit that you want to phase yourself. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. If you want to experiment with phasing, then do it. But don't blame it on like it being curious. Like, they're going to wake up and remember.
Yep.
Anyway,
amazing.
That's my biggest sin of the episode, I think.
That's fair. Totally fair. I think that's everything that I have. Any other sins?
Nope, not for me.
Amazing. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. We had a super duper fun time talking with the live audience. Where we do that every Monday at 12 p.m. Central, roughly on the YouTube CSPN channel and on CinemaSins Live on Twitch, where you can now subscribe and support us and get eventually some fun goodies that we're working on. But yeah, super duper fun. Ambassador. Would you recommend this as the first episode that anybody ever watches?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
good.
there's too much going on.
Far
This
too
would
much
not be a
going
good
on.
first episode of Lower Decks to watch.
No, it really wouldn't. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. I'm off to admire some tacky Cardassian eyesores.
And it's go destroy them, babe, from me.
That's amazing. Live long and prosper. Bum 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 bum.
Okay, we're in the clear. I want to get to, and I'm going to say your name incorrectly, but Nahayo Zitano. We are right now recording a podcast, and we just ended our podcast recording, so now we can kind of turn back to the live audience and say hi to you guys. So thanks for joining. Glad you're here.
Hi, everybody.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here, Frat Creek. We appreciate it so much. And Michael, on YouTube, thank you for going to the YouTube channel and hanging out. You guys can watch this on the CSPN YouTube channel or here on Twitch. Again, we're really excited about Twitch. We've got a lot of our community of our fan base is as active on Twitch because there's just some great channels to enjoy. In fact, I'm going to start looking for someone we can write into today.
Do it.
But while I do that, we started quite a few of your guys' comments and questions during the show. So do you want to start making your way through some of those, Ian?
Yeah, sounds good. So full disclosure, there's some that I starred that we've already addressed. So let's just get rid of those. JCD. Question for the post show. Which of these could you take in a fight? Martok, Gowron, or Duras? So, do we want to spend the next 15 minutes of me explaining who those people are to Janae, or just answer the question?
No. I got this.
The answer is neither. I'm running away. They are 3 Klingons. I would not win a fight against a Klingon child, let alone... Why is that so funny?
Sorry,
I wouldn't.
I'm sorry.
I would absolutely lose.
No, you would absolutely lose.
Martok is like a war hero that is, I think, now... currently the head of the Klingon Empire. Gowron is, you know, the memes where it says "Glory to your house" with like the big eyes.
Yeah,
that's Gowron.
Okay,
he would just intimidate me because he's a man that doesn't blink. And then Duras would stab me in the back before I realized there was even a fight going on because Duras was behind the death of Worf's parents.
I want to fight that guy then. That's the one I'm going for because I've got something to say about that because nobody messes with Worf.
To be fair, Worf killed him with a bat left to the heart already.
Okay, all right. Well, then that's the one I'm fighting because he's already gone.
Nice, amazing.
That's my answer. Stays
the
same.
Hang on, didn't Worf kill Gowron as well? I think Gowron is dead too. Yeah.
Man.
Well, either way, I'm taking Gowron or Duras then. Apparently that's it. But great question. Give me some more Klingon stuff.
Yeah. Give us the Klingon stuff.
Interesting, Josh.
What's the next one?
Does this mean that the Undiscovered Country Sins video is on the way? Can't wait. On to the next question.
Oh.
From Josh again, that was anticlimactic. Final Frontier is better than First Contact. I'll let myself out. Stop throwing things.
I love that you guys are just like saying things that are like, are you okay?
Did we
okay?
find a way to boot people from the stream? Can
Yes.
anybody? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we can block people.
I really hope. No, you know what? Love what you love, Josh. That's fine. If you, it hurts.
Are you okay?
If you love Final Frontier more than First Contact,
that's okay.
I just can't finish that sentence.
No, I will for you. You can like whatever you want to like in whatever way you want to like it. And it's okay that it's different than what Ian likes because Ian isn't the captain of all Star Trek. I just want to let you guys know that.
Next question.
Oh, no.
Slab needs a Danae describes an episode badly Twitter account, and that's all it is. No,
Badly?
I mean, you did great.
I thought I did pretty good. I definitely didn't remember some of the names of the aliens, but I thought I did pretty good. You didn't think I did very well?
No, you did great.
Thank
Slab
you.
thinks you did badly.
Slab? I thought I did really good, Slab.
I'm going to get right to work on that Twitter account right now. JCD says if we haven't added In the Pale Moonlight from DS9 to the watch list, we should. But there is one problem with In the Pale Moonlight. It is unsinnable. Because, it is unsinnable. It's so great.
You cannot tell me that something is unsinnable.
It's unsinnable.
Because I will sin it.
So most of
And like, will our friendship like be okay after that?
no, because and not you may be rejected from the entire Star Trek fandom.
That's not true, though. Then it's toxic.
this- Oh, it's not toxic. It's just great. No, it's great. It's incredible. It's like it's the first time that a Star Trek character makes eye contact with the camera. So like Sisko is talking to the camera for most of the episode as he's writing a captain's log, but he's doing like a video log. It's so good. Sorry, we'll move on.
Wow.
It's so good.
Just a wow.
Just to be fair, everyone is with me on this one.
I mean, I believe you that everybody's with you, but wow. Okay.
I
I love these comments because it kind of like people who are Star Trek fans know what they're saying and they know what's going to happen to you and I both.
Oh, yeah.
As we chat about this.
I mean,
but I'm clueless. Like, should we watch that with your dad? And then I'm just in it the whole time?
No. Because,
would it ruin everything?
No, because my dad doesn't like Deep Space Nine. So
then we should watch it with him so that I have some backup.
I was not prepared for my dad to gang up on me with Danae against Star Trek. No, we'll be staying away from Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
Like, my mum hates it so much, she calls it Deep Shit Nine.
Oh, no, but also amazing.
My parents love TNG. They're like happy-go-lucky, amazing.
Okay. We'll just start in with some TNG then.
Yeah, amazing. To be fair, I did say no TV shows without sin, and you are correct.
Thank you.
Except that episode of Deep Space Nine.
No, thank you.
I know. Also, right, okay, now there's some hate coming at my parents for not liking Deep Space Nine. Not actual
People
hate.
can like,
jokey hate.
And they cannot like whatever they want.
Absolutely.
It's okay.
But you're absolutely right. I very nearly disowned them for this. Rightfully so.
Very awkward Christmas.
Yeah. Katra says, good evening. I love that it's the evening somewhere. That's amazing. Listen to you guys for ages in YouTube. Now it's weird to see your lovely faces.
I know, it's weird, right?
Strike a pose. There's nothing to it.
I used to do a morning radio show with Aaron Dicer, who's also on the Cinema Sins
narrator of TV Sins.
And I'll never forget the first time that somebody came up to me at an event and they were just staring at me and, like really strangely and intently. And they're like, yeah, you don't look anything like I thought you were going to look like.
Oh, interesting.
And I didn't know how to handle that because they were having like it almost felt like a crisis. Like they'd been listening to me on the radio for long enough that they had built
a picture. Of course you do. Yeah.
And I wasn't.
You shattered it. Oh no.
And they were really like, it was a minute, and then and then I think they said, I guess that's okay.
Wow.
And I said, yeah, I mean, you know what? You can just not here. I'll turn around and you can walk away.
Talk to the back of my head. Does that make you feel better? What an interesting way to be judged.
Oh my gosh.
That's terrifying.
But thank you for being here, Ketrar or Ketrar.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching on YouTube. We actually just recently changed the background image on our YouTube podcast so that it kind of moves a little bit while you listen, so that there's something more than just a static image.
You get to see
which was kind of a nice, hopefully you enjoy that.
Nice.
No one does fit the image. You are correct about that.
No one.
And also, thank you again for your sub, for being one of the first people to sub to our channel. It means a lot.
Oh, the badges are coming up. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. That's so great. Zinc Stoat says, I don't think Tendy's ever shown this side of her at all, which is why it was so great when she went full beast mode. Yeah, I'm glad that's kind of confirmed what I was thinking, that we haven't seen this deeper side of Tendy. I love it. It's a beautifully crafted story of her butting against it and then having more of a history than the Ohio Orion.
Just move your mouth, like move your lips a lot, like way too much.
Yellow.
Aww.
So I'm glad I wasn't completely in the.
I did like that moment too, because Tendy was like still kind of herself as she was in beast mode. I think she said something to the effect of, we'll talk about it later. Don't bother me right now. I'm in pirate mode. Like she even just sort of was trying to be kind to just like, yeah, don't talk to me. We'll get to that later. I really like that a lot.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Quickly before we move on to the next one, I've lost a comment that I wanted to pull up. It is gonna sing until he finds a comment that he wants to put onto the screen until he runs out of the breath, and then he'll still continue to the singing. He may pass out, but it's really annoying because he can't find the sentence comment that he wants to put up on the screen. It's really hurting because it's done. I'm just gonna have to say it out loud. Okay. Nope.
Holy shit! That was amazing. Clip that. Somebody fucking clip that.
Okay, the comment was that I can't find now, and I've actually gone
No,
busy.
you can't just move on. That was fucking awesome.
Thank you. Okay, anyway, you're like really shocked that I managed to keep that going.
It was great.
Thank you. It was to be where is Chris has the mountain man beard now is the comment I'm trying to find.
That's why you're captain, you know,
Yeah.
because you can do that. You know, you can just like riff like that.
Yeah. It's like that.
Like all I can do is a doobie doob. So
A doobie
you're
doob.
like,
That's what I needed. I needed somebody to background my doobie doos.
I was snapping.
Yeah. It's like the Tenacious D song, which is, it was like, and now they can't stop talking because I'm always talking, sing, you never stop and sing. Inward Singing is the name of that song. Anyway, the comment I was going to pull up was that Chris is the one that feels like he should have a mountain man beard. And Chris did at one point have a big beard. And I'm encouraging him to grow it back, if that's what he wishes.
He did. He did once.
Anyway, I'm glad that was worth the singing, anyway.
It was great. You did great.
Thank you. Centering the show on one character to the detriment of others is why I just don't get on with Discovery. Interesting. The show... Oh, you mean the fact that it focuses on Burnham? I don't know that it does. I don't know that I fully agree with that, but I see where you're coming from. That Ouida. Hello, Ouida. Maybe they move on and new characters take their spot. So I think this is in reference to when we were talking about the Lower Decks crew. Like, how does Lower Decks continue? Like, maybe these guys move on and there's a new batch of Lower Deckers. That's bold. Like, that would be... I don't think I like that. I like my people.
Yeah, I like the people too, but I feel like that could be a possibility. Mm-hmm. Easily.
Nothing surprises me with this show. Like, if this goes on for 20 seasons and becomes the only thing that links together all of Star Trek, I love it. I don't want it to end. I really don't. Josh Zero, Tasha Yar got the data transfer. Oh my. This is another rude joke today.
Okay.
Because Tasha and data.
Are we going back into the docking stuff? No?
I'm
Is it time?
I mean, in
time?
that situation, I don't know who got docked. And that's how the Romulan War kind of came to a close.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was a really succinct version.
It was great. So succinct. Yeah.
Can you remind me the next time I get sassy that I just shouldn't doubt you as a captain?
I'm always reminding you of that. I've set a little like alarm
yet I forget.
on your phone.
And yet I forget.
Good morning, Danae. Do not doubt your captain. Bring him a coffee instead. Did you not think it was weird that you keep bringing me coffees? Like you get like in the car,
I do.
drive 15 minutes, get me a coffee.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's like a 45-minute round trip just to get you coffee.
Worth it. Hey, worth it for me.
For you.
Coffee. Right. JCD, I'll give it the possibility that when we're back to... I see this is the point of the stream where we were talking about docking, and that's where we started the comment.
I'm sorry. Should we end the show, Captain?
I'll give it the possibility that when docked to a station, the ship gets power from the station to save dilithium crystals. So this is why the Cerritos was affected by the EMP device, because it was fully connected to the space station. I don't buy it. So we'll move on from that.
Ian has chosen to dismiss your comment.
I've decided to not do all of that work for the show. And I really like, this is a great one to end on. Applicon, I think they're building up to something happening to Bold Boimler at the end of the season. I think that has to be it, doesn't it? He does something super bold that results in the time travel shenanigans that gets him sent to Strange New Worlds land, or he dies, or... Because the other thing is, like, Jack Quaid is arguably the biggest star on the show. Can they hold on to him?
Who's Jack Quaid?
Jack Quaid voices Boimler, sorry.
Oh, okay, I see.
And he's... he was most recently in a Scream movie. He's in The Boys, which is a show that we seen, but I don't know if you wrote on The Boys or not, but he's doing a lot of stuff right now. So maybe they are gonna kill off Boimler. I don't think that's a bad prediction.
To see him take a crew, like to be able to kind of get up and
yeah.
then take a crew. I think that'd be a really neat way to show how like up the progression of someone's story. So yeah, they're doing something, whether it's because the actor needs to have more space or not.
Less time in the booth.
love what they're doing as long as the characters on screen are still exciting. And I think again, the thing that this show can do so well is to bring back characters that technically wouldn't be that aged and bring back the voice actors, match them up with the animation version of themselves, and still be able to have a lot of fun on a show like this.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Totally agree. I think that's almost certainly what's going to happen.
Boimler could be the first captain to befriend the lower decks crew, says applicant.
Well, I think Janeway might be the first one to do that because she took some lower deckers on a shuttle mission. Yeah, we've lost the ambassador. So on that bombshell. Guys, thank you for joining us, everybody.
We're gonna raid today. Now, Mondays is a really fun day to raid. We are going to be on CinemaSins. Obviously, we're going to continue to look for people who are live when we go live on Mondays and Tuesdays. So please continue to tell us people that you want to go support or to showcase, and we'll do our best to kind of make rounds. But I really want to raid into Mokomade today because we hit affiliate, obviously. I know they're celebrating with us. And I think that also means that if everybody who's on Twitch right now can jump in, they'll push them over 100 viewers at once, which is really fun for them too. Mondays is a fun day for them. They go through all of the art from the community and kind of showcase what's come into their Discord. So if you're looking for a really fun community outside of CinemaSins to enjoy, Mokomade people are a really good match for the snarky, cussing sinners that we are.
Yeah, we are.
And they're a really fun community, and there's a lot of activity. So if you've got like something that you're passionate about or something, there's like a really fun active community there. So I'm gonna start that raid. You guys can all jump into that. And then when are we gonna be live next? I don't think we're gonna be live next week. Is that right?
Are we in Nashville?
I think we're gonna be traveling. Yeah. So I think next week we won't be live on Twitch. We're still gonna have an episode in your podcast player. So obviously we won't miss anything there. And you can watch us on if you are a Sins Club member on Patreon, we give updates there. We're going to be doing more blog style stuff for you guys soon on that platform. We also do updates, of course, on Discord and Twitter. And if you've ever have any questions, comments, feedback, you can email those to us, captainspod@cinemasins.com. Anything else?
We've just had our first 10 subscribers, which is really cool. So those first 10 places have been away.
That's awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, love you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Always fun. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.